check. What's up, everybody? Been a while since we've done a live stream, but I was all set up tonight to do a lesson, a live lesson, and it got canceled, so I thought we would jump on here and do a little Q&A since I'm all set up. Anyways, what's happening? Hope everybody's having a good night. Red word. Cheers, man. What's happening? What's up, Justice? Hey, man. Yeah, buddy. Send some new imps this way. The creature and the adventure both look pretty sweet, man. Hey, everybody. I had a one-on-one lesson scheduled for tonight, and it got canceled the last minute, so I thought we'd jump on live here. So because I was all set up. Anyways, hope everybody's doing good. You got audio? Can you hear me? It's been a while. I haven't done a live stream on YouTube in months. Nick, what's up, man? Dunwich Doom is here. Weed Eater base covers. What's up, man? I think I did something. Yeah, Dixie's tone's amazing. I mean, I saw him at Snowblind just recently, and I mean, his live tone is just crushing. Part of why that band sounds so heavy, I think, and people assume they're tuned lower than they are because they're only tuned down a full step to D standard, but they sound so heavy because Dixie's bass is so overdriven, just so heavy. But yeah, and I think he uses an old Morley distortion of some sort. I can't remember the exact name of it, but really old, like 90s or something, Morley distortion. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done a live stream. I was having a bunch of issues with my the RAM on my computer, actually, and it kept crashing when I was doing video stuff, even recording lessons and stuff. So I hadn't live streamed, and I tracked it down to being the RAM and replaced it, and now it hasn't been crashing. So I thought I was all set up to teach a lesson tonight, Patreon one-on-one live video lesson, and it got canceled at the last minute. So since I was set up, I just thought we'd jump on. Justice, you got yourself an Orange Crush 120. Nice, man. It's I'm curious about the Super Crush versus the regular Crush 120. A lot of people say the Super Crush is brighter. That's typically what I hear, anyways. But I haven't tried it. I had a Crush 120 head at one point, but I don't have that anymore. What guitar scale is better for Doom? I mean, I think it really depends on your preferences. It's funny, I saw Nick in here, but we were just talking the other day about how some bands like the kind of loose intonation you get when you're tuned way down, say even G or F on a 24 3/4 inch scale. Sometimes it's part of the vibe, kind of having that slight intonation issues as you move up the neck and whatnot. But you know, I think 25.5 inch scale really will work all the way down to probably F standard. The guys in Bong Ripper these days are using 25.5 inch standard or scales in F standard, which is a typical Fender scale length, and you know, that will work. In my experience, 24 3/4 starts to have intonation issues right around when you get below A or so. Just depends on the guitar, but yeah, I mean, you can go longer and not, you know, it's preference. I feel like, you know, things tend to get a bit tighter in the low end, and you lose a little bit of that kind of bloom as you go to longer scale, and you get more string tension and kind of a faster attack. Just depends what you want. But I think you know, it's a bit of a myth that you need to have a baritone or something to play doom metal, because most doom bands aren't using baritones, but you can for sure. I mean, I've got a baritone 27-inch scale guitar that I've got set up in drop F that I really like. And it intonates better. You know, you've got more string tension, like I said, kind of a faster attack. Is there such thing as too much volume? I mean, volume's just fun. I don't know if you guys all caught the Premier Guitar rig rundown with Sun that came out today, but that was awesome. It was really fun to see those guys break down their rigs, the guitars and pedals and amps, of course. But I don't know, if you're standing in a room with a bunch of heads hooked up and a bunch of cabs and stuff, it's just the kind of feedback, swirling room of feedback, you know. It's really fun to play around with. But yeah, if you haven't seen that, it came out today. It's 45 minutes long, which is funny because it's Sun, I guess. But it's really good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, man. I mean, lots of people are tuned out. You know, like Mike Scheit and Yob has used Gibson Les Pauls, or used Gibson Les Pauls in A standard for a long time. Obviously, he's got the Monson now, which is 25-inch scale. Which for me, I've been able to take 25-inch scale down to G sharp standard while still getting kind of perfect intonation. But beyond that, you typically need to go to 25 and a half. But 25 and a half is good. I personally enjoy playing 24 and 3/4-inch scale guitars more. I just like the feel of it. But there's certainly a place for longer scale. Distortion Principle, what's up, Mark, man? Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Have I considered lessons for Russian Circles, Pelican? I mean, really, I'll do whatever gets requested enough. I've got the official request list, which is at doesitdoom.com/requests. I'll put it here in case anybody wants to send a request. But generally, you know, the lessons come from what I feel like teaching, or what I'm into, or just I feel like is being requested a lot. And that's how I pick lessons. This year, I don't know, I've tried to focus on, you know, I've done so much of the sleep stuff or the Electric Wizard stuff, and I've tried to branch out more. We just did the Primitive Man lesson a few weeks ago. You know, I've done some Bong Ripper. What else did we do more recently? Church of Misery. Kind of trying to branch out into some more of bands that a lot of people have requested that I maybe haven't covered on the channel. Even though I still enjoy kind of that Electric Wizard type lessons, just because those songs to me are fun to learn. They're easy. They usually have pretty well-defined structures and patterns in terms of the riffs and whatnot. Low output or high output for Doom? I mean, I traditionally have preferred just the less compressed, lower output stuff. I recently got a guitar with Dirty Heshers in again, though, and I like them a lot. I find that the lower I tune, the more I favor higher output pickups. But for me in general, I like a lowish output PAF bass, but even medium output, like the bridge pickup in this thing is kind of a hot PAF, really. This is the Warlord here. I think that's 13.1, and that one is more like 8.3 K ohms, and these are Alnico 5 magnets. I need to check out the new Acid King video. I haven't seen it. I've seen a lot of people post it, but I haven't watched it. But yeah. Yeah, Connie. I don't know if Nick's still in here, but working with Nick is always awesome. I mean, he's just he's a wizard, um, and we've done a lot of fun designs together now at this point. A lot of cool. I mean, we have so many prototypes that just haven't even scratched the surface. I don't know. We'd probably have eight pedals or something that we've got in various stages of development, but it's been a ton of fun. I mean, he's such a pro. Uh, yeah. I was a huge Dunwich fan. All of his pedals are like in my sacred area of the like pedal cabinet. Um, just ton of love for what he's done, and really appreciate everything he's done for us. Yeah, chemist. Like, again, if it gets requested enough and I can physically play it, I'll give it a shot. Um, I had to work on tremolo picking a little bit for the primitive man lesson, which was interesting. That's got me on like a kick of trying to get better at that because it's something I'm not particularly good at. And all of the hundreds of songs lessons that I've done, I don't think I've ever had a bunch of tremolo picking in anything. Um, is there cheaper guitars that have the body of the Warlord? There's really no, part of why we wanted to do these guitars was because, obviously, aside from the first act, there was really nothing like it on the market for many, many years. And even then, I mean, there was only probably 50 of those first acts ever built. There are similar guitars, you could get like, there's the Ibanez Artist guitar. It's not quite the same, kind of has the same shape. There's various Yamaha SGs from back in the 70s and such that have a similar shape. Neither are really that close. Like if you've ever played both, I mean, there's something distinctly different. The body is larger on the Warlord. It's more like a 335 in the body, but like the Yamaha SG is a smaller guitar. It's built like a Gibson Les Paul for sure, but it just is more of a smaller, more compact guitar. And the Ibanez is typically, I think they're more of an SG in terms of construction. Like just don't have like the cap and the arch top, but I may be wrong. One in the bottom right. Yeah, we don't use that one so much anymore. That was like the original artwork that Steven Yoyada drew. I still have it on some stuff, like in our Teespring shop. I still use that logo, but we've adjusted it a little bit over the years. But if you go to our Teespring store, I think you can find some merch that still has that logo on it. More sun and earth lessons. Yeah, man. I've had a few sun lessons that I've wanted to do that I just haven't got around to doing. But I've got a bunch tabbed out that it's funny tabbing out sun, but generally just speed it way up and figure it out. Yeah, more crowbar lessons would be cool. I've only done a couple. Always fun. I love Kirk's riffs, and it's fun to go after that boosted Randall to pull out the old RG80 behind me and hit it with the metal zone. Always fun. Instant crowbar. Warlord bass, yeah, it's something we've definitely talked about. Doing a version of, I don't know, it would probably be a flat top, not an arch top, like not really the Les Paul style body, but we have talked about doing a Warlord version of the bass. These the Warlords are if you've watched on Instagram, these are like the next run is nearing completion. Probably have them in hand next month. And we're probably going to run a pre-order here towards the end of the month. We've got some lefties this time, a small number of lefties because so many people ask. So don't know how many people will actually buy, though, because lots of people ask, right? So we didn't want to get stuck with a ton of left-handed guitars. But we did do some, and then we did some new colors as well. We've got a gloss white this time around, and we've got a gloss black, as well as the gold burst, the silver burst, the grim burst satin black finish, and the tobacco burst. Treble booster, I don't know what's the best out there right now. I mean, I would just get something that has a few different range options for sure. I don't think it's super, I mean, the best sounding ones I've ever used use the proper older OC44 transistors if you're really chasing the Sabbath tone. But I would just go for something pretty basic that had a range option, a few range settings. Yeah, the TI Boost just really isn't a range master, though. I mean, it's some modern take on some sort of boost, but it's really not like the original Rangemaster. I think you've got one already. I believe you. I know you do. Yeah, or at least you did, because you did a Walpurgis and TI Boost comparison video, I think. Tom, when are things coming back in stock? So yes, we've actually got a new pedal that's going to be coming out later this month. I'll start dropping some information about that soon. But the Giza and Sabathie will follow next month. We've got them scheduled in the build order. And then probably Agartha Hypercoven after that. The Doomsaws, though, I mean, everything that's currently in stock is almost gone. Doomsaws will be gone within a few days here, and the Walpurgis as well. So we're needing to step it up in terms of production to keep up. It's been a bit of a struggle for sure, and that's just component sourcing aside. The man, do I play blues? Yeah, I mean, I could play the blues. I spent quite a while actually just studying and playing Chicago blues. I haven't played it much in a while, but yeah, I mean, I could play a blues. Cosmic Pallbearer, we talked about this earlier in the stream, but yeah, I mean, you'll get a 25.5 to F sharp, I think, in my experience. You can get a 25.5 down to F. I mean, Bong Ripper plays an F with 24 3/4 and 25.5. It also depends on how much you care about the intonation being perfect. But in my general rule, based on my guitars and my experience, is around G sharp A, the 24 3/4 will not be able to intonate perfectly, and then but 25.5 typically will, and so 25.5 I think does fine down to about F. Hey, dude. Appreciate that, dude. Thank you for the super chat, man. Bongzilla. I think Um, am I surprised with how well the guitars and pedals sell? Um, I don't know. I mean, I think we make really great stuff. I think we try our best to make a product that we love, that we think other people will love. I think I know the genre well and have a good idea of maybe what would be different, new, or what people might like. So we're always trying to make sure we're making stuff that we love, that we think everybody else will love, and so far it's gone pretty good. Do I plan to do bass rig rundowns? Yeah, I mean, I should. I tend to not play bass as much as I play guitar, so I'm not an accomplished bass player by any means, nor am I really an accomplished guitar player though. But you know, I guess I feel like there's guys out there who are just really good if you're looking for this kind of stuff when it comes to bass. I mean, Jared at Beholden to the Riff is killer. He teaches all the songs that I would want to learn if I was playing bass, and he crushes them. Like, he's a great bassist. So generally, I tell people if they're looking for some bass content in the doom stoner genres to check out Jared at Beholden to the Riff here on YouTube, because he's really fucking good. What's my favorite I Hate God song? Hmm. Maybe Blank. I mean, Jackass and the Will of God is probably the song that made me fall in love with that band, but Take Is Needed for Pain is my favorite record. Um, and I think Blank is a fucking killer song. I think I did a lesson on it. Thanks for hanging out, Philip. You're welcome, man. Thank you, all of you guys here, for hanging out tonight. Like I told everybody, I had a live, or I do Zoom lessons on Patreon, and someone canceled kind of just last minute. I was all set up, so I thought we'd give this a try since I haven't done it in such a long time. Anyways, I was having some issues with my computer, but it's working now. Jesse Taylor, how do I rate the Tony Iommi signature Gibson? I mean, I've been tempted to buy it, but I just can't. I just can't do it. I can't buy modern Gibson guitars. Um, but it's cool, I mean, 10 years ago I would have died for that, but I've built my own several times over, and um, I think I was disappointed with the Epiphone version of the Monkey. I thought they should have used the Gibson pickups like they've done in the past and stuff. Um, I've definitely heard mixed reviews. Obviously, the custom shop version of the Monkey was a super cool piece. But I think they're all cool. I mean, I've just built a bunch of Monkey guitars over the years that are out of like that have been pretty cool. Way back when Gibson, when like a 65 SG wasn't that expensive, I had one that I kind of converted into one, and so it's just I've still got the white Epiphone one that I did. Someone called it the albino monkey the other day, which is a pretty cool guitar. So I'm into it, but I'm just not that into modern Gibson guitars, if that's fair to say. Oh, cool. Harry, you found a used Warlord, I guess, somewhere. Reverb, maybe? Any tips for young long hairs? Well, I had to cut my hair for a long time, or at least I did. And, yeah, now I don't. I had a beard forever, and I cut my beard, and then I would let my beard grow, and then I don't know. It's not fun navigating the professional waters with long hair and a beard. in my experience. My favorite High on Fire song. Well, my favorite High on Fire album is The Art of Self-Defense, and truly my favorite High on Fire song is probably the first High on Fire song I ever taught on the channel, which is Baghdad. Yeah, I love that. I love early High on Fire. I just think it's the coolest shit ever. The first couple records. I mean, I don't know, those albums, the tone, the Billy Anderson production, Matt still using the Matt amps with the Soldano. I mean, the tone and I don't know, there's just something super special to me. And probably because, I was listening to those. I started getting into High on Fire around when Blessed Black Wings came out. I actually saw them on that tour, and I just love those first 4 albums, really. The Death is His Communion was fucking awesome too. And that, on that album where he used the first act 9-string for the first time and such. I mean, but yeah, Baghdad, probably my favorite High on Fire song. Hey, thank you for the super chat. What's that name? Swordless Mime? Steve. Well, hey, thank you for joining the Riff Lord tier on Patreon, and thank you for the super chat. Always love to see new people joining the community. Come check us out. The Discord server, always filled with people these days. Just a really fun community. I'm trying to put out more content every month. I think we're closing in on 100 lessons with Guitar Pro PDF, guitar and bass tabs for every lesson. If you're looking for bass stuff and you've seen a lesson on my channel, every single lesson is tabbed on bass and guitar, of course. And many of them, we've got drums as well. And then, like I said, we've got... obviously, I do some one-on-one Zoom video lessons on there are available. And of course, just personal DMs back and forth with me. I talk with a lot of people every day, just answering questions and trying to help people out. But the Discord server is killer for anybody in here who's on there. I saw Justice from Fuzzimp in here earlier, and he's always in the Discord helping people out, answering questions. So it's just a really great group community, just a bunch of good people, helpful people who know shit about everything. I learn tons in there all the time, just reading through posts and conversations. What am I using now? So that was, I'm not sure if I'm playing through my, yeah, so I'm playing through the Model T right now, and I've got that's just a Fuzz Coven. That's our Fuzz Coven V2, the recent Fuzz Coven release. Someone had a lesson tonight scheduled, and so I had the board set up with some of the pedals that they have, and so but I didn't end up doing the lesson, so that's how we ended up here, live on YouTube tonight, but it's been a lot of fun. Yeah. I mean, we haven't made the final decision on when we will announce the Warlords, but they are in production. If you've been following me on Instagram or even on Facebook, you've seen us dropping kind of pictures of the new models and some of the modifications that we've made to some of the existing models, just slight cosmetic changes. There's no change in the construction or geometry of the guitar whatsoever. We just added a couple new finishes and changed some knobs and the color of some binding and such. But they are coming. The pre-order, there will be a Patreon pre-sale first for a few days, and then we'll open up a pre-order. We're probably going to do a pre-order for this run. The guitars are basically done. We'll do a pre-order. We'll probably leave it open for a week or so. Let people who want to get them, and then we'll kind of close the pre-order and wait till they get here. But we expect to be shipping guitars out early March probably. So they look great. Like I said, you can see the new finishes on Instagram. But these things are just fucking absolute doom machines. I mean, they're heavy. They've got amazing sustain, great tone, and obviously just great playability as well. Balanced awesome. Check them out. And if you want to join the waiting list, you can always do that at doesitdoom.com. Just scroll down to the bottom of the page. You'll see the Woodwright. You can click that and you can sign up to the waiting list so you can get an email when the pre-order does go live and whatnot. The GT120, this is the master volume version. It always sounds pretty good when recording, but it's a strange amp. Like, I've played it side by side with a non-master volume, and the non-master volume is just so fucking loud. I mean, just like the Model T is so loud, but it's like the master volume version is right there with it. And the non-master volume version is right there with the Model T, like super loud. Like right now I've got the Model T's on like 2, and the GT120 is on like 6 or 7 to get the same volume as the Model T. But if I had a non-master of the GT120 right now, it would be on 2 as well. I mean, I feel like it just takes pedals better. Just sounds more massive. It doesn't compress as much. I prefer the tone. I've got the master volume version, and after having the non-master volume version here, the master volume is easier to work with for me in the studio and such, but playing live, like the pure live tone, I prefer the non-master. And I still may, I'm on the fence as to whether to buy a new GT120 or to search for an older, like 70s GT100. And that's I'm more leaning in that direction, but they're steep in price these days. It's tough to get one for like, under $3, and you can order a brand new one from Mad Amp for, basically $2,100 shipped or something. Nathan, you're welcome, man. All you guys, you're welcome. Like, I'm stoked that you guys enjoy it. I love when people enjoy the content we put out there, and I'm so happy to do it. Left-handed Switchblades, yeah, Switchblades probably not for initial release. It'll be the same thing. I would say though, it'll be the second run we probably do Switchblade, but lefties, but maybe, we'll see how the lefty Warlords sell. If they fly, so many people have asked me about a left-handed Warlord. I mean, I don't even know how many people. It's got to be, I don't know, 30, 50. But so we'll see if the lefties that we got sell real fast, and if they do, then probably on the first run of Switchblades we might do some lefties. We'll just have to see. Pedals are the pedals. So we've got our pedal company is a lot of dudes actually. All guys who I've been friends with for quite some time. So it's me, it's Nick Williams, formerly of Dunwich Amps, runs our circuit, is kind of head of circuit design. And then Philip is my business partner. He's been just one of my best friends for, I don't know, since the 2004 we met or something like that. And so him and I kind of started the pedal board company together, which led to the pedal company. Everybody in the company is either a mechanical engineer or an electrical engineer. And then Scott, he does here in Mooresville as well. Another buddy we've worked with for a long time does all of our PCB assembly. Like we use a lot of surface mount components, and he does all of that assembly. And then Scott Hughes at Obscura Manufacturing here in Lenoir, North Carolina. So about all of the shops are basically in Mooresville. I'm in Charlotte. So I don't build the pedals. I work with Nick on the designs, the concepts. Nick does the heavy lifting on the design itself. I do a lot of testing with Nick and I. But then just a couple other guys who we've worked with for a long time help with assembly. So the whole company is about 6 guys plus Obscura, who Scott Hughes at Obscura handles all of our enclosure manufacturing, powder, print, and drilling. And so, yeah, it's all done here in Mooresville, North Carolina, really. But we're lucky to have just such an awesome group of dudes. And all the, it's small, right? So all the wives help out and everything. I mean, it's a lot, but we love it. Thanks so much for the super chat. I'm glad you like the content, man. I've got always more Tony Iommi Sabbath lessons. No matter what, I never get tired of that. People still seem to ask for it a lot. So Stoned. I'm not a huge old school death metal fan. I'm not a huge death metal fan in general. It's not, I wouldn't say I don't like it or anything, but it's not something I've listened to a ton of. Same with black metal. I would say I listened to more black metal than I have death metal over the years. But still, it's more so been just genuinely, I've been obsessed with doom metal and sludge metal for a long time. Like, it's weird. I start to think, I start to wonder, like, it's probably weird that, like, I don't, because I'm so focused on these genres, and especially, as the channel became the thing, like, even more focused, hyper-focused on doom, sludge, drone, and stoner rock. Like, I'm not even a huge stoner rock fan, to be honest. I don't really, I'm a huge Sleep fan, but I don't really consider them stoner rock. I do consider them more stoner doom because of the tempo of the songs more so. The faster stuff goes, the less I tend to like it. Todd asked, no, man, I mean, I use bridge and neck and try to use all your volume and tone controls. I think you could just get a lot of different textures that way and just control your tone quite a bit. Nick is the fully remote employee. We do Zoom calls once in a while when we need to get everybody together. The Pure Salem guitar was awesome. The Classic Creep, I don't have it anymore. That was just a loaner from Rick. He was asking if I wouldn't mind checking one out, and I liked it a lot, so I told him to send me that one, and we used it in a lesson there and showed it off. But really cool. I think a lot of his guitars are fucking cool. If you go check it out, just cool designs, good prices, and good quality. And he's a great dude. If you talk to him at all, I mean, he's a good dude. Sir Lord Baltimore, Kingdom Come. That's just like seeing that brought back memories of like my buddy and I on like, I don't know. I haven't listened to it in a long time, but just like on, like Napster, downloading it in like 2004 and being so blown away by it. Does the Walpurgis sound good on bass? It does. I mean, it has it's if you check out Evil Dead Bass on Instagram, he's done some demos. Jared at Beholden to the Riff uses it. I think he just used the Walpurgis in his Motorhead lesson that he just did this past week. So go check that out if you want to hear the tone. But generally, I would use it on the first half of the pedal, not blending in a ton of Rangemaster because it'll probably get too bright and clangy. But if the closer you are to roll back, you're just plugging into kind of a cranked Laney supergroup high bass input. So it does just kind of like Geezer used supergroups back in the early days of Sabbath. So it's got a really good just natural bass overdrive, I would say. It depends what you consider newer generation. I mean, the new Conan album is sick, and that band is sick. If you're, I don't know how new. I mean, I like Greenlung a lot for a more of an old school Doom that, but in a modern sense. Those are two bands. I don't know if that's what you mean by modern or not, or if it's like even newer than that. I sort of lump anything that's after 2010 to be modern, I guess, or even earlier, 2005, you know? Like, to me, Windhand is a modern Doom band, but I don't know if people consider that a modern Doom band or not. Thoughts on the Clarity? Yeah, I mean, I love that. I got Ionic Life on vinyl for Christmas, and it's got the Clarity and Leagues Beneath. I mean, I love those songs. I love everything Everett Sleep's, really ever done. Are your lessons full songs with tabs and videos? No, I mean, you can find the lessons here on YouTube. They're usually just riffs. I just do the riffs, right? Because for me, it's too monotonous to like play the same riff and like do the whole song structure. Not only too monotonous, but like YouTube's just not going to, the algorithms won't pick that up because it's just too boring for people to see me play the same riff over and over at different times and teach it. I feel like it's better to be just punchy, teach the riffs, kind of get in, get out. Just the way all these platforms work these days, you gotta be punchy. If you're fucking around and losing people's attention, you're done. So Digitech Drop, I've got it over here. Someone was trying to buy it the other day. It's okay for like 3 semitones. I don't like it a lot. I don't like that stuff a lot. It's like when you're practicing and you can, you hear your strings out of tune with your guitar. So at low volume, if you're trying to use it, your strings will be out of tune with the amplified signal. And that's annoying to me. But, that said, I think if you've only got one guitar and you want to experiment with different tunings, like, it is good. And I think, the other thing is if you're playing it loud, it's tough to get controlled feedback and stuff because, you're getting an amplified signal that's not actually the same signal that's being put out by your pickups. Cole, thanks for the super chat, man. Yeah, so that the Iomi logo was drawn by just one of my oldest friends. When I started the channel, he's just a great creative mind and great artist. Just always since we were young kids, I've always just really respected his creativity, and he just knows me so well. We've known each other. We were in our high school band together and stuff, and I gave him just a few ideas, and that's what he came back with. And I love it, and it's become kind of like this cool, like, iconic logo, and so I'm all like, many people have got it tattooed at this point. If you need something to tattoo it, just hit me up. But yeah, it's I don't know, it's super cool. I love it, and it's special because such a good friend of mine drew it. And what's actually been cool is him and I have also been writing together. Like, if you notice the latest pedals, like we've been putting some kind of storyline and stuff into the pedals themselves, and he's helped me come up with some of that. He's just a really cool, really great creative writer and just artist. Todd, do I prefer fuzz over distortion? It depends what I'm playing, I guess, because like I love a Rat or an HM2. But I also love a Big Muff and or like a fuzz bass, or a FZ2 for that matter. Pros and cons of P90s for Doom. I mean, I think, the hum can be annoying to some people. Some people, the 60 cycle hum you're going to get from the P90s, or some people find it annoying. It is noisy. Some people like it a lot. They've got a really great mid-range on them, probably less low end than a humbucker, and they clean up amazing. Like, humbuckers don't don't even hold a candle to P90s in terms of how sensitive they are to your guitar's volume. And so one of the things I always love on a P90 is you just play in a tube amp and you wind it back, it'll clean shit right up. So those, kind of pros and cons, typically, going to be lower output. You can get overwound P90s as well, but the P90s that were in that Pure Salem that I got, the Classic Creep, were really great. I loved those. I thought they just sounded badass. And I used them on that Dirty Women Sabbath lesson that I just did. Classic dimed HM2. I mean, I think the coolest examples of it are the Conan Existential Void Guardian album, where he used an FZ2, an H. You asked about HM2, right? Is that what you were asking about? Yeah, HM2. So, John used an HM2 all over that record. So Conan Existential Void Guardian. He had actually a Dunwich built, what was it called, Nick? A Nihilist, which was a really cool HM2. I think Nick said it wasn't too different than a stock HM2, but they did have this all-pass filter on there that really accentuated some of the frequencies. It sounded really good, and then he blended it. I actually just read in an interview, but with some fuzz on that album. If you're in our Facebook group for Patreon, I posted a really cool interview that John did discussing a lot of the gear they've used. But that's a cool example. And the Monolord Veneer album, Veneer, is that what it is? That has a bunch of HM2 style tone on it as well. So cool, two cool examples. I think it's great. I think it's underutilized. I think blending it with other fuzzes is the shit. In parallel, not necessarily stacking, but parallel blending it, you could get some really, really cool tones. What do I set my bass, treble, and mids? So I typically run the bass pretty high. I run the treble kind of low, and I run the mids just slightly above noon. So if I had to say it would be bass at 8, mids at 7, or let's be honest, bass is usually more, 10. I usually dime the bass, turn it back a little if I need to, and mids around 6 or 7, and treble around 3 or 4, typically. Like on the Model T right now, the bass is at 10, the treble or the mids are at 8, and the treble is at 4, and the presence is at 3. So that's pretty typical of the starting point. Like I'll usually just turn the treble to 3, turn the bass to 10, and put the mids in the middle, and probably crank the mids a little bit, and then just adjust as needed. So I just recently set up a guitar in G sharp standard, which I guess would go to drop F sharp, right? That's what I thought. So I haven't played a bunch of drop F sharp, but I did think that I could do some thou. Is that right? F sharp, G sharp. It is, right? Yeah. So G sharp standard can go to drop F sharp. The intonation won't be perfect. But as I was setting that thing up, I did think like, okay, now I can do some thou, and I can do some Primitive Man. And so that's why you saw that Primitive Man lesson come out recently, which was a very unique lesson for the channel. If you like Primitive Man, I would suggest checking it out. It's super cool. Not a single Root 5 power chord in the entire song. Gives you a really good idea of why they sound the way they do. But that was fun. How do I feel about noise gates? I mean, I don't like noise gates particularly. I don't know. I like dealing with the feedback, I guess, and the hissing and the snarling. I feel like it's part of it, but Thoughts on Caius being named for stoner metal band? I mean, I don't know, timeline. But I don't know. Again, as I've said before, I'm not the biggest stoner rock fan in general. I don't like the temp. Stoner rock is too happy for me, generally. It's not happy sounding. You know what I mean? It's not super dissonant. It's usually pretty pentatonic. It's not so much my thing. Favorite sleep riff to play? That's hard, right? Like Dragonaut's super fun. I think like the It's hard to beat that song when it comes to riffs, I think. Todd, do I have Gibson SGs? I don't even know how many I've had, but I sold them all. So, I've had a bunch of vintage 60s SGs. I've had 70s SGs. I've had modern SGs, custom shop SGs, but I don't have any anymore. I just kept my Epiphones. Yeah. So, and that's always yeah, I don't know. But right now I've got 3 Epiphones. I've got the old, what I call the Just Oborn, like Electric Wizard 1995 Korean built G400. And those were built from 89 to 95 with the dot inlays and the exposed humbuckers, no pickup covers, small guard. And then I've got the gold one, which is badass. Chinese made 2016. It's got the rich light fingerboard. It's like got really nice bevels. It's like a gold top Les Paul with black plastics. And then I've got the white albino, like the albino monkey, which is the Iommi monkey style P90 guitar. So those are the ones I've kept for now. Fireface. That was the first High on Fire song I actually loved. I've got, I don't know if I posted the tab for it on Patreon. I've got it tabbed. Pentagram, All Your Sins. Haven't played it in a while. But you can find a lesson if you want it on the channel, I'm pretty sure. I'd like to do I plan on releasing anything with P90s? I think we should do a run of P90 Warlords. A lot of people have asked, so I would like to do that. It'd be pretty cool. Any tips for recording songs? So I've been using Two Notes gear for quite some time. Like right now, you're hearing me play my Sun Model T through a Two Notes Torpedo Captor X, which, you know, I've got our Fuzz Coven pedal is the pedal I'm using right now, and then, you know, that's what I use to get the recorded tones that you hear. I think a big important thing for Doom is to multi-track your guitars. I think you want to use cabs that are different cabs, different amps. I do plenty of double tracking, triple tracking, quad tracking using different like 2x15s, and these are impulse response dynamic IRs from Two Notes. So 2x15 cabs, 4x12 cabs. And I find that multi-tracking the guitars is the best way to get, a really wide, huge sounding modern doom tone. But and typically, changing the gear between the tracks, at least between two of them. I usually will change, like I said, different cabs or different amps or different pedals. And that's how I like to do it. How did I get my beard? I've had a beard for a long time. Um, I just got old and it turned gray. And with all my hair turning gray, my hair started to go gray when I was really young. Satan Worshipping Doom album. I mean, it's an amazing album. What did I teach here? I taught Hail, right? Hail. I think I'm going to teach worship next, but that was a hugely popular lesson on the channel. I need to do more Bong Ripper. I'm 40 years old. No, I do not have my own band. Really, I would have no time with everything that I do. I work full time and I have 3 companies and 2 kids and a wife. Congrats on the new GT120, man. That'll be a sweet amp. You'll enjoy it. Yeah, it's funny. I guess I look like a guitar wizard. It just so happened that way. What are my companies? So they're all, I mean, you've seen them. So the Does It Doom Pedal Company is one company, and then Does It Doom itself. The pedal company is actually owned with myself and a partner who has been my best friend for a very long time. And we build the pedals for Does It Doom. And that's with, Nick Williams is in this chat. He's part of that. And then Does It Doom itself is kind of its own company. The pedal company is actually called Tritone Engineering. We're a bunch of nerdy engineers that build pedals. And then Does It Doom itself, and then Woodwright Guitars is my third company. Do I own a baritone guitar? I'd love to play the Wizard. I just can't remember how to play it. I have a Viper 7-string 27-inch baritone. Thanks, man. Thanks, Todd. I love the art on our pedals too. It's pretty incredible. Earthward Chris at Earthward Art has been super fun to work with. He did a ton of pedal art for Dunwich and Black Arts Toneworks that I think a lot of people don't even recognize that he did a lot of that artwork. But like the Cthulhu, he did the Volt Thrower for Dunwich. He did the original Pharaoh for Black Arts. And when we started the pedal company, I just wanted him to do our art. And so from the very start, he's done everything. It's super fun to work with him. Basically the way it works is usually I'll have an idea in mind and I'll pitch him some vague ideas and some vague inspiration along with a name. And I'll tell him, what the pedal is, what it's about, why we did it. And he'll usually come back with a sketch or multiple sketches, and then we'll kind of say, I like that, or change this, or how about that, and we just an iteration. Then once we finally come up with what we think is the go, he leaves for a few days and comes back with amazing art every time. I mean, we got a new pedal coming out. It's sitting right there. I want to show it to you guys, but I'm not gonna. And it's really fucking cool. It looks so badass. It was an awesome circuit that Nick had designed a few years back, along with someone you'll likely have heard of, and it kind of never got brought into production. And so we kind of took that circuit and made a production run out of it, and it's so badass. It's a 3-knob design, so our first venture out of the single knob, but it's really cool, and more details to come in the coming days. But it sounds so awesome, and it looks awesome, and it's a cool pedal. So the story with Woodwright and Woodbine is a custom shop. It's still a custom shop in Canada. They are essentially my partner. And they build guitars, custom built guitars in Kamloops, BC, Canada. And they approached me a few years back to see if I wanted to start Woodwright Guitars as essentially the import series for their guitars. So, and yeah, I was stoked to jump on board, and it's been super exciting to kind of get these Warlords finally running smoothly in production. And after changing manufacturers and ending up with PT Wildwood, these guys just have fucking knocked it out of the park. I mean, these are just badass guitars. And we're excited about the new run coming in the next few weeks. We'll have a pre-order going up before the end of the month, I would say. And your chance to get one of the Warlords from this next run. We're going to have lefties, small number of lefties. We're going to have a couple different finishes. And yeah, and then later in this year, we'll be doing the Switchblade model, and we've got another new model as well. So lots of fun and exciting stuff coming there. But that's the story of Woodwright and Woodbine. It's kind of the same thing as, you know, LTD and ESP, or Gibson and Epiphone. You know, just Woodbine, if you want to get a fully custom built guitar, you know, for $4 or $5 grand, get exactly what you want, something super fucking badass built in North America. And then if you want to spend, you know, something at a more affordable price point, but still super fucking badass, you can go with Woodwright and you know, get one of our production run guitars. Mark, my wife, started emitting static electrical sparks. New pedal coming out. Don't worry, Eric. You guys on Patreon, I'll make sure you guys see it first. How about that? Goes for you too, Mark. So the Woodwright series is made in Indonesia. I would love to offer a American-built guitar of this quality for $1,400, but that's a pipe dream. Hey, Karen, how are you? Classic Creep. Anything I didn't like? I mean, I guess I prefer set neck guitars. It was bolt on, but that's preference, you know. I mean, for a long, and that's probably just old school mentality, because now everybody's got a bolt on, wants a bolt on aluminum guitar, right? So, but that's probably, most of my guitars are set necks, and if I had one thing to say about it, maybe it would be that. But it was a really great guitar. I love the sound of the pickups. I thought it got an awesome tone. If you checked out my Dirty Women lesson, which I played in C sharp standard, I thought the tone, like, I just, as soon as I plugged that thing in and started playing it, I was just like, damn. I've owned plenty of vintage 60s Gibsons and 60s P90s, and I often find modern P90s don't live up to that sound to me. Even like these Fralins that I got in this, you know, in this SG that I've got, they're okay, you know. But as soon as I cranked that Classic Creep up, I was like, damn, these sound so fucking good. I want to get a set and put them in that other fucking guitar. Tony Iommi Idol. I've got a fuzz coming through a Model T in B standard tuning today. And so, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm digging the tone. I look just like your pre-calculus teacher, huh? What are you guys working on? Limits? Do I like the Supernaut solo? Yeah, hell yeah, I do. Favorite modern Doom band? I mean, Conan's pretty awesome. Again, it's what you consider modern, but Windhand is awesome. I'm glad you like the tone. Yeah, I mean, I was. What's my favorite pedal that we sell? Um, the Agartha, probably. We spent so fucking long on that pedal. Just I spent so fucking long sitting with that pedal with trim pots next to my Model T with rats and trying to make it sound right. And I think it came out awesome. And so that one is pretty killer. The new pedal that we've got coming out is pretty fucking badass as well. Tommy, words of motivation, man. I think the coolest thing these days, and I had a buddy who just started playing bass. I talked about him earlier, the guy who drew this Iomi logo for me, and he hadn't played bass in years and years and years, and just started playing again. And he's just blown away by the amount of information that's out there for free on the internet. You know, like, I mean, you can just coming back if you haven't played in years and years. I mean, just everything is out there, right? Like, you want to learn your favorite songs or different techniques, or you know, you want to learn theory or whatever. You can find it all for free on the internet. You know, and it's just so awesome. You know, you could join Matt Pike's Patreon and fucking, you know, have Matt give you a video lesson, you know, puts together a video lesson every month. Matt Pike teaches you how to play High on Fire and Sleep songs. Like, it's fucking awesome. I don't know. You know, and I try to, with this channel, I try to just like think about what at 15 years old or 16 when I was playing, you know, or 17 or whatever, you know, what would I have loved? And that's what I try to do with this channel when I'm putting together lessons and whatnot. Because I've always enjoyed learning from song. You know, I try to, in the lessons that I put together, I try to talk a little bit of theory. I don't have an extensive background in theory or knowledge of theory. I just know some basic scales and basics about intervals, and I've learned enough Doom songs and played enough scales that I kind of get what's going on, the general picture of it. But I just think the world is so awesome in terms of the amount of information out there, all the message groups and Facebook groups, and you know, communities of people that just love the same style of music, and it's just a really, really fun time to be a musician, I think. I hope that helps. I hope that's motivating. I'm using the our Fuzz Coven V2 right now. We've got the Warlord in B standard tuning, and we've got the Fuzz Coven V2 into a 74 Gen 1 Sun Model T. And I'm using a 2 Notes Torpedo Captor X and playing through a Orange HP8 4x12, which is their high-powered, was their 400-watt cab loaded with G12K100 speakers, which would be basically the Dope Smoker cab, is what I always heard was in his green cab. I don't know if that's true or not. My green cab has G12 T100s, which are a little brighter than the Ks, I think. But I love that cab, at least the impulse response. I'm always on the hunt for an Orange HP8 cab. If you got one and you're local to Charlotte or anywhere close and you want to sell it, let me know. Louis, do I have a band? No, I do not. Not right now. I just have too much else going on in my life to be able to dedicate the amount of time required. So on the lesson videos, I'm using, when I display the notes, so you're probably talking about the short form videos, I'm using Guitar Pro. But every lesson I also do in a program called SoundSlice, which are synced with my YouTube videos. So on Patreon, if you go patreon.com/doesitdoom, I'm going to plug this. Hopefully that's all right with you guys. But if you go there, all of the lessons get for the Riff Lord tier and higher get put in a program called SoundSlice, which basically I sync the tab up with my video lesson. And so you can loop sections, you can slow it down, and it just makes learning songs super easy. And following along, so you can watch the video in sync with the tab. And that's what gave me the idea to make those shorts. But I make the short form videos. I just screen record my Guitar Pro tabs, which are also on Patreon, as they play. And then I just edit it together. Human Person. My thoughts on amp modelers. I think it's cool tech. I don't know anything about it. I want to learn more because I know it's kind of the way, but part of the love for this whole genre in music and everything is gear for me. And so that's a hard one for me to cut this side of it out. Is just it cuts out a huge part of the fun for me. So I'm not super into it for that reason. But I love CabSim. Because it's made silent recording with my tube amps possible. And so I do love that. Mario, so as part on Patreon, I do teach, I have a tier where you can get some one-on-one lessons with me. It's not generally set up as a recurring thing, although it can be, but generally more of like an hour sit down, and we could sit down like this and just talk one-on-one on like a Zoom call and kind of go over, some of your questions about really anything you want regarded to your playing, and I do lessons like that. It's at the Riff Messiah tier on Patreon. The Pete Adams guitars. So I made a short about that, but generally the first act guitars, I think I guess I will say that they hadn't been played much, or obviously Matt played them and Bill played them and Brent and such, but they'd been gone for a long time when I started playing mine again. And so I've got all this content at this point about these guitars. And so people find me pretty quickly, right? Like I just got a new First Act DC6 that came to me 2 weeks ago, because someone just was researching the First Act DC6 that they had stored away in the closet for the past 5 years and found me right away. And so they email me and say, hey man, do you want to buy this? And basically I always can never say no, because I've been enamored with those guitars for decades, since 2010 or so, since Death Is This Communion came out and Matt was playing that thing, But the Pete Adams one's just the guy, basically a guy who was friends with Pete's brother, caught wind that Pete was looking to sell them and just bought them both off of him and just put them in storage. They had been in storage for years, and when I bought them, and the guy just reached out to see if I was interested before he put them up for public sale, and so I got them. Yeah. So Odd is Angry. Yeah, I was just talking about that. We got our first multi-knob pedal coming out before the end of the month, and you're going to see a whole bunch of multi-knob stuff from us coming this year. Of course, all of our pedal designs could be multi-knob, and in fact, they could be easily be 8-knob designs, many of them. But we just tried to make the tone in the box thing kind of a little unique. I don't think many have done that, and it seemed like people like it. It's fun. But yeah, we're going to branch out and try some multi-knob stuff too. Marijuana. Yeah, I've done some, right? I mean, like I've done a handful of lead guitar lessons. They don't seem to garner as much attention, I guess, on YouTube. It doesn't seem as many people watch them, which, and because they take a long time to learn, I guess that's my deterrent from learning and transcribing and teaching full solos. But maybe you're talking about more general, like lead technique lessons. And, I probably should. I mean, I ran a poll in our Does It Doom Facebook group, and there was a ton of people who said they want to learn lead. So maybe I should explore more of that. Trust fund, yeah. I mean, I wish. For me, it was actually Nirvana was what made me want to start playing guitar. Um, and I would say I played for a little bit when I started playing probably in 8th grade, and just wanting to learn Nirvana songs, and was really obsessed with that whole thing. And but I didn't really jive with the teacher that I had. My parents were all about trying to get me some lessons, and I just didn't really like, they were trying to teach me sight reading and, starting on an acoustic and probably teaching me the right stuff. But it was I just wanted to start by learning songs, which I still feel is the best way to start learning, which is why I teach with song, because I just feel like it's the most fun. It's like gives you applicable ideas right out of the box. You can learn theory that way if it's presented in such a way. But yeah, that's what made me. And then I quit for a while. And then in high school, was way into like the Misfits and Black Flag, Minor Threat, and just Danzig stuff in general. Sam Hain, and me and my buddies just decided we were gonna try to do a band. And I hadn't played in a while, but I had played for at least a year or two before I kind of quit, and so I knew what I was doing. And so I was like, yeah, I could play guitar. And I pulled out my old guitar, and off we went. And then I discovered Sabbath shortly after that. Because with Danzig and stuff, people would always mention Black Sabbath, and that's how I got into that, and of which eventually led to I guess Pantera and stuff led to Down, which Down led me to I Hate God and Crowbar, and COC, which led me to Satan Vitus and Pentagram, and down the rabbit hole we went. Would I consider making more Yob lessons? We've got some tabbed on Patreon. Yob lessons, Yob shit is hard for me. It's not naturally my style, and so it's hard. Like it took me forever to learn a Blaze and to be able to do that finger style and stuff. So I'd like to, but I also just have some tabs on Patreon for people who want that stuff, because it's Guitar Pro. You can go in there, slow it down. It's tabbed accurately. But maybe again, it's just hard. It's hard for me to play that stuff without, just dedicating weeks and weeks to learning a single song or a passage from a song, which is a lot. Eric, that's awesome. Yeah, I should make more acid bath lessons. I mean, you know what's really cool is Sammy. If you go to, I think, Acid Bath Archive or whatever it is on YouTube, that dude takes so much of Sammy's live streams and everything and puts them on. Like, you know, you could just watch Sammy play all the fucking acid bath riffs. I almost feel like it's cheating for me to like watch him play all his fucking riffs and like just transcribe them and teach them. I guess I could. Um, he's cool. I know him, you know, and he was, when I did the blue, I like sent up the tab to look over and stuff. But yeah, I just feel like you could go and Sammy teaches all his own fucking riffs. It's the coolest thing ever. It's like, that's the thing. Like, I think back to like listening to Acid Bath and Goat Whore when I was a kid and stuff. And just like to think that all these years later, I don't know, you know, you'd be like, able to just like go watch Sammy Due like teach you his old fucking acid bath songs on the internet. It's just crazy. Green Lung, like I just did we just did Let the Devil In. I posted on Patreon last month, I think. It's killer tune. But yeah, we should do more acid bath. I should just go watch Sammy and transcribe all his fucking songs and teach him. Makes it easy on me. I don't have to watch all this fucking archaic live footage and try and pick out what the fuck they were doing. You know, it's always fun to go like watch old like 3-piece Electric Wizard videos from the mid 90s that are just horrible quality and try and learn the songs, but that's what I do. Thankfully, at this point, I've got some really good guys to help me with transcriptions. But still, if it's going to get taught on the channel, it's like I spend a long time watching live footage for everything, just trying to get every part played exactly as they would have played it, as the artist plays it on the album, in the right position, in the right tuning. I'm just super passionate about it being right, and I guess that comes from years of like growing up in the era of bad internet tabs where shit was tabbed in the wrong tuning and the wrong positions, played in all sorts of weird fucked up ways. And so like I still have it as part of my like mission to like teach shit properly. And I, you know, I'm sure we don't get it 100%, but I like to think we do pretty good. Hans, thanks for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. Again, doesitdoom.com/requests. Drop that on the list. I'm always looking at that list to see what people are interested in. The more something gets requested, the better chance it has of happening in a lot of ways. And then sometimes I just do what I want. You know, if I've got a song that I really feel like would be cool to teach, I'll do that. But if something gets requested a lot, then I tend to give it some attention. What string gauge do I use, Todd? So I use Stringjoy strings at this point for everything, and I have guitars in just about every tuning from standard to F standard. So E standard to F standard, so almost a full octave. So I use different tunings depending on the scale and the tuning, and different strings depending on the scale and the tuning. But I've got some good videos on YouTube, shorts and long form, of how I pick strings. I tend to use the Stringjoy's string tension calculator because it just makes it easy, and they've just got strings for everything. You could order custom sets. They're made here in Nashville. It's just not that I'm in Nashville, but they're made in the States here in Nashville, and a good group of guys. So I like their stuff. I guess I'm kind of endorsed, but I tend to not even get free shit. I just tend to just go buy what I need because I like to support what they do. They have sent me free strings here and there, but when I want a pack of like custom strings, I just rather just go enter it and buy it than have to like go through the channels and get them to send it. All old tabs are wrong. I mean, I stand on that. I'll die by that. Man, fucking internet tabs were rough back in the day. And you know, it's like we have such a luxury of all this live video these days, right? Like back in the day, people were just figuring out solely by ear, and I don't know if people still do that, but anytime I'm figuring out a song, I've got like 4 YouTube videos up that I'm looking at to try and figure out what's going on. If I had to go to straight like learning by ear, I'm sure I would tab shit fucked up all over the place. Thoughts on Funeral Doom? I don't listen to much. Have not checked out the new Ask King yet. Jared and I are buddies. I mean, we've just hung out on Zoom calls before, just shooting the shit. So yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to a collab. I think just finding time and figuring out what would make sense. I think we would do it in a heartbeat. Love that guy. He's awesome. Yeah, I definitely think I should cover some songs by Thou. If you've got some specific requests, drop them at doesitdoom.com/requests so I can see what people want. Well, guys, it is 10:30 here on the East Coast of the United States, and I think I'm going to call it. But thank you all for hanging out. I appreciate everybody. All the questions was fun. Hopefully, I'll do this more. It's been a long time, but it was a lot of fun tonight. I appreciate everybody hanging out, and we'll do it again. Thank you to everybody who shot me a super chat, and I appreciate all you guys for watching and hanging out. Thank you all. Have a good night.